Okay, let's open the meeting of the Cold Spring Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm the chair, Eric Worth, and I have two other members here, which together, three members makes a quorum. We have only one item on the agenda tonight. That is an application, a workshop. You're Colin and Stacy.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you.
You want to move up to these seats and
Sure.
Sell it? Say it. I'm sorry, I got it. Mary Ann Rennie.
Hi.
Hi.
So a workshop is the first step. You don't need to give your full justification. We don't evaluate the merits of the application. We don't give the decisions. We just try to understand what you're proposing, make sure that everybody's clear about the relevant issues of the zoning code that apply. Make sure you understand them, we understand them, and we put together a complete application that's in the best form for the public hearing.
Okay.
So let's, why don't you just give us a brief description of the project?
Okay. The property is 3/4 of an acre on the north end of the property, where it borders, I believe, number 10 Hamilton property, which is shown on the survey. There is a trailer very close to the property line, which we would like to put up a fence to shield from the view. The fence would be 8 feet tall and made out of unpainted cedar. Pressure treated posts, unpainted cedar, with space in between for air to blow through.
Yeah, and that's the only spot on the property that we want to put the fence. We don't want to put a fence anywhere else on the property.
Just looking at what we have here, the performance worksheet. We've provided some photographs. Show the trailer.
Yeah, probably should have put them on color, I apologize.
You can pass the color.
Yeah, let's see. Oh. Something in color, it's a fence. More. That big tree.
Are you looking at the performance sheet?
I have it. It's here. One thing that jumps out to me, the referral from the building department says fence height cannot exceed 4 feet. But the building code, the zoning code actually allows a 6-foot fence at side,
I read that.
rear yard or side yard, the maximum is 6 feet. So, but you definitely want 8. 6 would not be sufficient.
Well, 8 is better than 6 in, under these circumstances. Ideally, we just don't want to see it, and we don't want our friends and family to come and see it, because every time somebody comes, our house is under construction right now, that they ask a lot of questions about it. And, I mean, every single person that has come has indicated that they think there's a meth lab in the middle of Colton Village. So I would just like to not see it.
Okay.
Would you mind just walking me through this? I'm assuming, is this a driveway?
This is the Belvedere Street with houses alongside of it.
Okay.
This is the driveway to our property, which begins here. This is a separate lot, which we are in
Contract.
contract to
purchase.
purchase. And this is the main driveway to the house with the garage. Into the side of the house, this backyard, where we plan on putting a swimming pool. That's on.
And then this is where's the house?
The house is right here.
Thank you.
That is the
Okay,
house.
got
And there's a little
That's a garage.
garage right
it.
there.
Okay, because I saw the edge of that.
The
Yeah.
address was the throwing off with 10. If I pull up this Google Maps.
You can't see it
You
from
can't see
Hamilton
it.
Street. No, that's what's so curious about it. If you drive, if you go to
Yeah,
Hamilton,
that's not 10 Hamilton at all.
no, if you go to Hamilton,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
That
the
would
back
be-
of it.
I mean, I'm not gonna say what it is, but it would be more like 2,
Yeah,
that to me.
Yeah.
if you go down Hamilton Street and you go all the way to the end, there's a log cabin, then there's a house right at the end, and then the driveway to 10 sort of shoots off. And it's an almost half-acre lot, and the trailer is sitting
in the back.
in the furthest corner of that lot, right next to our property, like next to our house, basically. It could be anywhere on that property, but it's there. So. Yeah, you can come up to Belvedere and do a field trip if you want, because you can't really, I mean, to get to it from Hamilton, you'd have to, okay.
So the fence will run the full width of lot number 2.
It's not even is it the full width of our lot? No, it's not, right?
Yes, it is, it's the full width of that section.
Right, so where it says 114 feet, 0.43, that's the dimension of that side of the lot, and would it is
It's
also.
approximately 60 feet. Yes, if you're asking from that, the 2 corners of the lot,
Right,
yes.
was, it's 114 feet, right? Is that what that, the surveyors?
I
No.
don't think so.
What is that 114.43?
I do. I'm not a surveyor. I don't know the
Pin and
answer to
cap
that.
set, I'm not sure. But if you know Belvedere, then you know that our house is kind of up on a hill. So our driveway goes up on the hill, and so our house sits higher at the end of the street than every other house. So it's like our view of everything, like we're sort of up, and so we see kind of everything around us. So it makes it more noticeable on our property.
We're going to need to know the length of the proposed fence.
I think I wrote 60 feet. It's in the application. I did.
I don't see it.
But, seems pretty clear to me that this side of lot number 2 is 114 feet. That's definitely what that indication means. You can see if you go down to on the east side, the boundary around the corner is marked 193 feet, which seems comparable. So that would mean the fence is also around 114 feet. It extends across the whole side.
Right, do you have it says 270? I don't.
down to photos maybe,
No. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something to get, you don't have to figure it out now, but for the hearing itself, we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
an exact number of what you're proposing
Okay,
as of the length. And if it's along that full boundary side, the north side, then looks like it'll be 114. And also, we need to know how far from the property line. the fence will be.
where is this? I wrote 6 inches.
You must have written it on another map and not copied that map.
Answer the question. I wrote it. I replied, when I wrote that, I was replying to a question.
Okay, well, that,
Okay, that has to be found out.
it just,
Yeah,
when, for the hearing itself, when you give your presentation, just
Okay,
state what those numbers are, and I'll take care of that.
okay.
We'll also, at the hearing, we will talk about, what, what the neighbors, what's happening on the neighboring properties. For example, the hall, because a large part of our consideration will be how will this look to the neighbors? What kind of effect, if any, will it have on the neighbors? So we'll talk about who.
Right, not the only people that will see it is us. Because this lot right here.
no one will see it.
We're buying that,
Okay.
so
But
there's no, and then the person who owns the trailer.
It would be very useful then to convey that point. If you could take some pictures, standing in your yard, looking toward each direction.
Okay,
To show us, who's there or what's there,
Sure.
and, so we can see that it's nobody, nobody
Yeah,
routinely there.
it's only us.
So, yeah,
Okay.
that'll be helpful and, help us visualize what's going on in the surroundings.
Right. Yeah, there's no house, right, there's no house here, and there's a house here, this lot is empty, and that's the lot that we're buying. And then the fence is, kind of pushed back in that corner, so no one is, even people that are living on the street won't see it,
Okay.
unless they come to visit us.
All right, great. And another,
can you point out to me where it asks the question, how far back from the property line?
it's
Is it
not,
on this sheet?
no, it's not anywhere there. It's just
Something he wants to know.
something that,
Something's missing, okay. Okay,
well, it normally would be marked on a plan, a site that's the plan, the
Yeah.
site plan. It's like a
right.
professional drawing that has all the kinds of dimensions. It routinely includes that kind of thing.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with doing it like this. but-
Yeah, I just remember making the decision, should I put 0, 1 foot, and I decided to put 6 inches. I don't know where that is. Okay,
Did you put it on something like the site plan, or was it a separate sheet of paper?
I don't remember that, but yeah, I don't remember. Okay,
Approve it.
that's what this is
Okay,
for.
so one other question that we always cover in a workshop, you will need to mail, notices to your neighbors informing them of the hearing, or of the application and the date of the hearing. So I just want to go over the list. You've got a list here in your application. Let's just make sure that it covers everybody.
Well, we included only people that would see the fence. So the lot that we're purchasing and then the person that owns the trailer.
Okay,
we didn't include everybody on the Belvedere because they won't
Sure.
see it.
yeah, it's technically supposed to be all properties abutting, so all properties that contact yours. And those directly opposite and any others that can see the project.
Okay,
So you've
One would
got,
be the Haldane Nature Preserve
yeah,
there, right?
all, but this is all Haldane property.
mhm,
Okay, so you've got, you'll have to include them.
okay.
Um,
Where
Find
would,
out,
where, I don't know where we would send that, but,
yeah, you can look, Putnam County, Real Estate Office has a database online that, I'm calling it up right now.
just taking a note.
Parcel website?
Yeah, it's called eParcel and
Yeah, I can send those to you. I can send you all the properties that
Okay.
are next to your property and across.
You'll send it in?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Did you already have the listed the lot that you're purchasing as
Yeah.
the notice for that owner?
That we put their name down, that's the Felter, the trust.
Okay.
I don't know when this hearing is, we might actually own that lot by that moment, yeah, that's about to happen. They also own the house that we bought on Belvedere, so.
this is the Putnam County Department. Real
Yeah,
property.
no, I've been down that site.
And go down here, it's, eParcel imaging. It's like an aerial map of every property, and then click on the property and it pops up with ownership and address and.
Yeah, I went on there trying to figure out who owned the trailer.
you know, I'll go up and zoom in just to see. So we've got 10 Hamilton.
Mhm.
Um,
That's the owner.
um, number one, yes, and, I think you should. It looks to me like number 7 Belvedere.
Which one is 7?
And that's,
Is that the Santos?
so that's here, yeah, I guess.
He won't see it because our lot next to it is wooded and the fence is in the back and his his house is up in the front. Like the fence won't, like he doesn't see the trailer.
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy to notify him. I don't think he'll mind, but I'll send him something.
It's kind of in your interest to be, to include.
Sure.
Because that protects you from hypothetically in the future, someone's coming and saying, I never was notified
Yeah, yeah.
and I
Fine.
object.
Okay,
This way, because you'll be sending these by registered mail, this way you're protected, they can never say they didn't know about the hearing. And the same argument may be for number 6 Belvedere, which is across the street from Santos.
sure, nobody's living there.
And also, vegetation like trees, it's kind of a, gray area, because they're temporarily. Someone cuts some trees down, maybe these neighbors will see them. So, best not to count on vegetation as a criteria for who gets notified.
But this 6 is in contract to be purchased. I mean, it's been empty and abandoned house for a really long time.
Well, but if you send it to whoever's on record, then you're protected
Okay,
from
Okay.
any objection. You just find out what the current record says, send it there, whether anyone lives there or not. That way you're just protected. So that means we've got 6, 7, 10 Hamilton, and Haldane. that looks like that would be
Okay,
I mean,
that's fine, I'll do that.
yeah, or, I don't know, we're looking at the map again, maybe number 12 Hamilton. Because you see there's this diagonal divider here between 10 and 12. And somebody's standing on 12, looking across. Do you think that's,
Well, I can tell you that 10 Hamilton, 12 Hamilton, 9 Hamilton, and 7 Hamilton are all owned by the same family.
oh, okay,
So it's not going to be, any notification that goes here is gonna be, everybody's gonna know. I mean, the person that owns the trailer that's sitting there lives on 7 Hamilton.
okay,
So, and his aunt lives on 12 and his cousin lives on 10, so they all own that whole end of the street. And I'm happy to send notice to everybody.
if they are listed with the same owner, then you don't have to send one.
Okay,
But if, but then again, they do have different addresses. Let's see if it's the same owner or not.
it's not. Susan White owns the one at the end of the street and, Roger Burrell or Roger Remington Rock, his alias, owns 10 Hamilton and 7 Hamilton, and his cousin Mark White owns 8.
It would be most cautious and prudent to send one to 10 and 12
Yeah,
at whatever owner is listed. And then you're covering for that.
Okay,
So, yeah,
I'm happy to send them, that's fine. And you said registered mail?
yeah, what I'll do, I will email you the one-page notice.
Okay.
It's what you'll print and mail,
Okay,
and along with instructions about how to do it and other instructions about getting ready for the hearing in the next couple of days.
okay.
And, that brings us to the question of the date of the hearing. It takes 4 weeks. We've got to place an ad in the newspaper and there's time specifications about doing all that. So 4 weeks is soonest we can have the hearing. So that means September, yes, September 10th, Tuesday, September 10th. Would you be available then?
Sure. So we will own
yeah.
the other lot by then, so I don't think I'll bother then.
Okay. How about you two? Will you
Yeah.
do 3?
I'm available.
Eve?
I need to get back to you.
Okay. And I'll also check with John. He's on vacation, he wasn't responding, but he'll be back within a few days, so. Well, he wants
Let you
to,
know within the-
if he's coming, yeah, if he's can commit, then Keith, you can, we can make do if you can't come.
And if you
That'd be
need
at
to make it
7
another
o'clock.
day, just let us know.
Okay, all right. Right, so that's, I think that covers. So for the hearing, you'll try to provide additional photographs taken from your yard, looking toward the various neighboring lots, so we know who's there. That's it.
Okay, and what's the format of the hearing? How does it work? Because I think you said we had to make a presentation.
Yeah, I will start with you just giving up your complete reason. You'll explain what you want and why you need it.
Okay.
Because it's an exception, you're asking for an exception.
Yes,
so
it's
You need
exception.
reason.
So we're only actually asking for a 2-foot exception to a 6-foot
Right,
rule rather
not
than a
the-
4-foot exception.
And be clear about that, because that's helps your case.
Right.
It's less of
Yeah.
an extreme, smaller exception. So yeah, we'll make all that clear. And then, members of the public will have an opportunity to speak for or against. And then we'll close the hearing. And the board will discuss the application, may have a vote at that hearing.
Okay,
Not necessarily.
I want to ask a question then, because Cold Spring has a maintenance requirement that is on the village, it's on the code, that properties are expected to be maintained in a certain condition. And so instead of asking for somebody to go and enforce the maintenance requirement, because you can see that the trailer is not fit for somebody to live in, it's not, it's covered with a tarp, it's, I mean, it's not, you know, it's got trees growing out of it. We aren't asking about that. Is that something else that I should, another avenue that I should pursue, or should I just wait until we see what happens here? Because I didn't really have an interest in doing something like that. I just want to put the fence up.
Yeah, that's a valid, an alternative way of approaching the problem. You wouldn't go through this board. Not, I'm not totally sure where, you could start by talking to the village clerk and saying whether it's the buildings department, like a derelict structure, I don't know what, what kind of.
I mean, it's been there since 1972. I mean, it's obviously past its useful life. It was a mobile home. I think that somebody lived in at one time.
If there's, something in the village code about maintaining, avoiding, derelict structures, then it would enforce, the question is, who would enforce? Probably the building department, building inspector.
Who makes that determination other than ourselves? Who
Well, you
researches
could
that?
file, you would submit the complaint or the, and then it would be the enforcement officer who would make the decision of whether there's a violation here.
Okay, that makes, I mean,
Okay, so in the meantime, we just hope it doesn't get to that.
ideally, I just would like to
Okay.
hopefully be able to put my fence up and not see it.
Yeah.
And just leave it, you know, whoever can have it there.
The village clerk would be your gateway into the building department. And he can advise, Greg can advise you probably more on
Okay.
that question.
This was not ours, right? I don't want to take this, but I think we didn't bring this, did we?
No, I didn't
Okay.
really.
I think this is what you submitted last week. If you
Good,
don't need
okay.
it.
No, we don't need it.
No, I think it was in this packet.
Do we take that? So I have to find out where I marked 6 inches, 60 feet.
I think only in your mind.
I know I did. You didn't ask me in an email, did you, Eric?
That's what I was wondering about.
I did say it's something that should be shown on the plan. I don't recall your responding with numbers though.
I don't know, okay, whatever, we'll get
You'll
that
figure it out.
clarified, yeah.
I've experienced that segment a few times
Yeah.
today already.
Already today, whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nice.
I think that's the complete file, so that was something that you just,
I
you
don't know.
thought you did, but you didn't. So, okay, very good. This has been very helpful. I'll wait to hear from you on the email, then I'll send all of our notices. We'll take the pictures, we'll update the information about the size and how far from the property line, and maybe we'll get color photos of the trailer for everyone's file. Yeah, I think it would be helpful.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you
All
very
very
much.
official
You too.
meetings.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, I know, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
God
too,
bless.
very much. If you want to come up and see the trailer,
things out.
I'm happy to take you on a tour.
Okay. It's always helpful for me to see things. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can see sort of how it impacts
Oh,
where we are, like our backyard and where we hang out and just coming in and out of the house. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
question. And looking at this, so my question is about, and I feel like I should know this, so I'm a little embarrassed to ask it, but fence height requirements are different for side yards versus backyards, correct?
It's one, for side and back, It's one dimension.
And which
one
is-
rule,
6 feet for
It's
side
6 feet.
yards and backyards.
right.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, the question is, or sometimes it can be ambiguous, what is the side yard?
right, because, yeah, it looks like part of this is a backyard and part of this is side yard, but you're saying that it's,
Well, Yeah, I didn't get into that, and that's actually, but that is a relevant question, and we can nail it down at the hearing, but, the side yard ends, the front, imagine a line, the front facade of the building defines a line that crosses the property, and that's, I guess,
See here,
so.
kind of,
It
to
looks
here,
like
right?
this,
Are you-
it looks like this, so there's the property, with a front porch.
okay, yeah,
So I guess if you draw a straight line over to the, boundary, that marks the end of the side yard and the beginning of the front yard. So it does look like maybe this fence does extend a little bit into the front yard. Although what he was saying is 60 feet, if he really does mean 60 feet, then that could possibly mean the fence ends sooner. But yeah, side yard, rear yard are 6 foot height, front yard's 4 feet.
Mhm.
This is a road. This is the home. This is the lot.
Mhm.
Being the backyard.
Mhm.
Where does the side yard?
The side yard. Well, see, I always thought the side yard was here alongside the
actual
house.
side. Yeah,
But, so is that also the side yard here? And this is
well, and in this case,
backyard,
sometimes
backyard?
I viewed it as the side yard starts
Yeah,
here
oh.
versus, but I think it depends on. Does it
There's
depend on
actually-
road frontage?
There's a really good drawing
Okay.
in chapter 4, I believe it is, the chapter about,
So he's,
about fences.
so even if this is a side yard, if it's all 6 feet here, here, and here, the only place where it can't be 6 feet is from this little
Right,
in front of the house up. Because it used to be different, right? It used to be side yards were different than backyards, or I think I've always been really confused
I
about
think it
this.
was all 4.
Oh, it was all 4, okay.
yeah, it was all 4. And here, yeah, this is chapter 4, which is a really nice drawing. The green is rear yard, the orange is main structure,
Yeah,
and then side yard and
side yard, and then the front yard. Okay, got it. Thank you. So for side yards and rear yards, it's 6 feet. For the front yard, it's 4 feet. So if it is actually like this, they are gonna be extending into the front yard. So they might wanna know that.
Yeah, I'll mention that too.
Because-
Well, the other thing I was thinking, sorry to interrupt you, was how much, depending on that other lot, does that change anything based
Oh,
on their
because they're
lot
gonna owe
size?
that, on that?
If they're owning lot 1.
Mhm.
But I was trying
Oh,
to
they
picture where the home was also for this. There were a number of different variables for me, including lot elevation,
Yeah.
so. This is the-
I don't know.
I don't think there's anything else. We have, one set of minutes still that we're waiting for the last meeting, the previous meeting, which, nothing happened except that we approved all the minutes. It was in June, I think. So no rush on that, but, eventually that'll have to be done a little.
I agree.
And I wanted to also suggest a streamlining, in the process. When someone submits a new application, it seems to me, Abigail, that if you can scan and post the complete application on the website, there's no need for you to email the same files to us unless others disagree.
That's fine.
Because you could just tell us, because that clogs up the email server and everything, the big files. So you could just, once they're posted, you could just email us and say, there's a new application, the documents are posted, then you don't have to attach any files.
I agree with that statement. I'll do that next time, thank you.
All right, so I don't know if we need to take these with us. You can just hold them to that hearing.
Yeah, that's fine.
I believe that the minutes were for June 25th.
Okay.
Most likely.
So should we motion to adjourn?
Oh,
I'll recommend motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And unanimous.
Great.
Okey-dokey. So,